Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Today it was unprecedented in the history of Pakistan when the Supreme Court suspended 3 years extension of sitting Army Chief General Qamar Javed Bajwa. There was earlier on petition filed with the Peshawar High Court. It was withdrawn, probably under pressure, and there was another petition filed with the Supreme Court against his extension. Again, it was withdrawn, once again, probably under pressure. And I think perhaps that was the reason that the Supreme Court decided to take a suo motu action. It was a first ever suo motu action under sitting Chief Justice of Pakistan. And Supreme Court very meaningfully suspended his 3 years extension, citing procedural irritants, procedural requirements which were not met. The federal cabinet's approval were not sought in a manner that was required under the law, under the procedure. But I think there's a bigger picture which goes far beyond these small legal irritants and procedural problems. Prime Minister Imran Khan had given extension to sitting army chief, citing security reasons and security situation in the region, particularly with the reference of the situation in Indian disputed Kashmir region. When Kashmir was annexed in August this year, I think Pakistan's army chief has not been able to do much to change the status quo in disputed Kashmir region. There is a new normal in Kashmir, and there isn't much Pakistan has been able to do under his leadership. I think the actual reason behind giving him extension is obvious, that Prime Minister Imran Khan feels far more secure with the General Qamar Javed Bajwa as an army chief. He is the one who has been blamed. He has been at the heart of the allegation that he brought Imran Khan in power through alleged rigging on election day, and also creating political conditions which led him to come into power. In 2013, in Pakistan, army unfortunately has been blamed for making and breaking government. Probably PTI's Imran Khan had won the general elections, but that electoral victory was converted into defeat, and then Nawaz Sharif was made to win the general election. So what are the political ramification if army chief is not given 3 years extension? We don't know what is going to happen in the Supreme Court. It depends tomorrow. But the fact of the matter is that if he's not given 3 years extension or even a 1 year extension, that means what is going to be the fate of the alleged political deal that Nawaz Sharif had probably with the establishment, and there was little role that the political government had, and that's the fate of Nawaz Sharif remains unclear, and the very fate of Prime Minister Imran Khan also remains unclear. It all depends if at the end of the day it is going to be the decision to be made by the Army Chief General Qamar Javed Bajwa himself on whether he wants to drag his prestigious institution into unnecessary legal debate inside and outside the Supreme Court, and unnecessary political debate in drawing room conversation on social media, and perhaps there is going to be little debate on mainstream media, given the fact that there is unspoken censorship on the mainstream media. But again, this is 2019. This is not 2007, when the then army chief had imposed martial law, when the Supreme Court was expected to give a verdict against him, disallowing him to contest presidential election in military uniform. This is not 1999 when the then Prime Minister had sacked an army chief, General Pervez Musharraf, and in retaliation he had staged a coup. This is 2019, and General Qamar Javed Bajwa has completed his natural tenure. So it is quite natural, and it is quite for all the military generals, they would like to replace him, and it is a natural desire. And I think if the Supreme Court comes up with a similar final verdict, this verdict hopefully is going to be liked within the military also.